Would you like to know what it's like to go on a date with your boyfriend and his future wife? Stay tuned. In the mid to late 70s, my boyfriend invited me on a ski trip. I'd never been skiing before, and so I thought, why not? So, because I lived in the south suburbs and he lived in Chicago, I drove up to his place, and from there, he drove us to Alpine Valley in Wisconsin. But when I got to his house, he asked me if I would mind if his neighbor went along with us. His next door neighbor, very attractive woman. She had just broken up with her boyfriend or fiance or whatever he was. And because it was such a hard time for her, he asked me if I would mind if she sat in the front seat with him so that he could talk to her. So here I am in the back seat with their skis because they had them. They were skiers. I wasn't. And we drove all the way to Alpine Valley with me in the back seat and them in the front. When we got to the ski lodge, and of course they had their skis and I didn't, we had to rent my skis. So we went down the aisles looking for something to fit, and because my feet are so small, I could fit into none of the adult skis. I had to wear the children's skis. Okay, no big deal. I was told, okay, when you go down the hill, just make sure that you move your ankles in the way that you're going, back and forth like that. Fine, that's no problem. And when we went on the bunny hill, which of course they wouldn't even go on because they were experts, they gave me some pointers. And they said, when you look down on this rope, don't grab onto it right away. I take things very literally. So I stood there and I looked at it and I waited what I thought was a reasonable period of time before I grabbed on and I face planted in the snow. So I realized then that what he meant to say, or what he should have said, was get a feel for the rope before you grab on. He didn't say that though. Also, he said, give with the dip. Well, I gave so much with the dip that I did a trick that expert skiers know how to do, and that is you dip and your feet go up over your head and land behind you. So that was the first thing on the bunny hill. Then he put me on a chairlift and said, just, jump off and pay attention to what we said beforehand and you'll be fine. And he said, but, we're not going to go on the bunny hill. We're going to go on a different hill and we'll meet you later at the lodge. So here I am sitting in this chairlift and I had a choice. I could sit on the chairlift and go around and around and around, or I could just jump off. So as I did that, and I'm skiing down this little bunny hill, I see in front of me these two little boys that had fallen down on top of each other. So I turned my ankles to this way, nothing happened. Turned my ankles this way, nothing happened. And all I could do was scream, I'm going to run over you. And I saw them both go like that. And I did. I crashed right into them. And I thought, what? This is not fun for me. So I went back to the lodge where I waited for my boyfriend and his future wife to come back to the lodge. Now, I had met her before. As a matter of fact, on one of our first dates, he took me to the restaurant where she was a hostess. She was also his next door neighbor. They lived in this beautiful artist loft in Chicago, and they shared a wall. So, of course, when they got married, I wasn't invited to the wedding. They knocked on the wall between them, and they had their own little cozy loft. So my advice to you is have psychic abilities. And when you get put in the back seat for a poor friend of your boyfriend, take that as a hint that maybe you shouldn't go. So that's my story. More to come.